Cannons arrived in Europe around the 13th century, initially from the East. They were first used in sieges and later saw widespread use during the Hundred Years' War. The introduction of cannons marked a significant change in warfare, allowing for more destructive power and changing fortress design. Initial cannons were rudimentary, firing stone balls or metal pellets. Cannons were later incorporated into royal navies, with the British, French, and others developing their own artillery for sea warfare. Naval artillery played a crucial role in the age of exploration and colonial expansion, enabling European powers to dominate the seas. The British especially conquered the seas with them, and with that they conquered almost the whole of the then known world. But now, it is your time. It is your time to arm your cannons and conquer the seas of music production. These cannons are your toms, and today we will learn how to make them go boom. Before we move on, we should learn which tom is which and where exactly they live on the drums. I'm a bit lonely today, but thankfully my friend Tom is here. Hi Tom! This is my friend High Tom. He's the highest of them all. We also have Mid Tom. He's kind of mid at everything, but we don't tell him that. That's a shame. We also have Floor Tom. We call him that because he's pretty heavy and when he gets drunk he falls on the floor. Okay, so toms. You usually have the floor tom, which is deeper, more bassy, and then you have tom 1, which would be the high tom, and tom 2, which would be the mid tom. You don't need 3 toms if your drummer can deal with that, if your drummer can play with just a floor tom, and one of the other two, the one that he needs the most, that would be ideal. Not all songs need 3 toms, but they usually need at least 2. So let's see what we do on the high tom, or any one of the rack toms, they're exactly the same. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is gate the toms so I don't get all the bleed from all the other stuff that I have. As you have figured out, I love silencer, so choose the toms. That should be okay. Next, I want to always check the phase of your toms with your overhead. So I'm going to go to my master and grab a utility and turn that into mono with this button. And then I'm going to solo my tom and my overheads. On each tom I'm going to check, pressing those 2 buttons, flipping the phase. I'm going to check when is it fuller. Let's see. I think with the phase flipped this one is a little bit fuller, so this is done. Next step is EQ, and I'm going to cut the extreme low end on the toms that don't need it. That's the other 2, not the floor tom. So the 2 rack toms don't need the extreme low end. The floor tom probably needs most of it, if not all of it. So around 50, 70, 80 Hz, something like that. So that sounds great. Let's close the overheads. So cut the low end, and then 2 areas that you need to be aware of is where mud and boxiness lives, and that's 150 to 300 Hz for mud, so it would be this one. It's around 272 Hz on this one. You listen to that muddiness, let's bring it down. And then the other area is the muddy area, which is 700 to 900 Hz for boxiness or that basketball sound. So let's bring that down. Let's check without the cleanup. Next, we need to do the boosts on the EQ. For low end, it's 120 to 200 Hz to get more bass out of your tom, so let's do that. This one is good around 120, I've checked. And then around 4.5 is the attack, the hit of the drummer with the stick, so we need a lot of that probably. And then an 8K high shelf for even more attack. And then after all of that, I press the channel out button, and that makes my compressor work after the EQ. And the settings are slow attack, fast release, same as all of the drums really. I like using 3 to 5 ratio again. I liked 3 on this one. And you see how rounder sounding and how more evenly dynamic this is now. And that's great. So that's all you need to do on the rack toms. So gate, cleanup, EQ, additive EQ, and compression. I also put all of my toms on a bus in a group, so a channel that all of them will pass through before going to the drum bus that we're going to talk about in the next video, and then to the master. So all of my toms go to a tom group, and then they go to wherever else they're going to. I just have a clipper, so in case anything goes above the 0 point, it's going to be clipped by the clipper, and that will give me more distortion and more attack and more of all of that good stuff. This one doesn't need it, but the others do. So as you can see here, this was the first rack tom. The second rack tom, if you see, I also have a gate, a very similar looking EQ, and I also have boosted 8K again, 4.5 again, and 120 again, so it's the exact same thing. So it works. A bit more compression here, I think. Let's listen. Yeah, that's great sounding as well. Mind that you need to pan your toms depending if you are panning a drummer's perspective or an audience perspective. So if you are looking at the drummer, or if you are the drummer, its thing would be panned differently left to right. Right? So what I've done is audience perspective here. So you see the floor tom is panned 30 on the left, and then the tom 2 is panned 15 on the left as well, and then I have 15 right on the other tom. So the toms are this way and oops. So the toms are this way and this way and this way, right? So you get that stereo movement when the drummer hits all of the toms. Second tom, so the same. Let's go to the floor tom. Some things are different there. So the floor tom, as you can see, again, a gate. I didn't use silencer, same thing. You can do it with silencer. Very similar EQ, but I've given it a bit more low end. I've cut around 43 Hz. And then on the EQ that I am boosting, same thing, 8K boosted, 4.5 roughly again. But I have boosted on the low end 80 Hz. So what you do for the floor tom, the difference is the low end for the floor tom is 70 to 90 Hz. So I liked 80 here. I boosted that. A compression, again, slow attack, fast release. But you see this is compressed a little more, 3 ratio, but very different threshold. So same things again, apart from the low end that we boosted, but after that I also used low control, same as we did on the kick, and that 80 Hz frequency, I enhance that, so I use a bit of saturation on that frequency, so that low end of the floor tom is going to be audible with saturation. So this is about the toms. Let's listen to them before and after. This is before. This is after, and that's all together. And obviously the last thing you do is you automate the toms, so if somewhere you need more of them, for example here, this break, I raised the gain, same as always. So now that we are almost done with mixing the drums, the only need left to show you would be on the next video, some parallel processing and the drum bus and stuff. So we're basically done with mixing the drums now, and as you have seen, it's pretty much almost a same repeatable process, give or take, that we do on each track. So it's very important to understand how your plugins work, how your tools work, and what they exactly do. But when you do that, and you have a repeatable process that makes sense everywhere, it's just the same thing over and over and over again, and you can push out professional sounding records with the same exact process. A little bit of tweaking, but the basic meaning of everything is partly the same. As you've seen, we always did gate, then we did EQ, and then we did compression, and then we did saturation, and then we did clipping. Like, mostly that's what we do. Thank you for watching this video. If it was helpful, if you liked it, like, subscribe for more videos. Help me get this channel off the ground. What else? What's the next video that is going to pop up right now? And anything you want, chat with me on Instagram. Thank you. Bye.